What's up, everybody? G5 Productions in the place to be. Superman First Class, excited to address part 2 of fixing this light. Hello everybody and welcome back to G5 Productions. I'm Gerald and I'm excited to finally get this light back into full operation. Now, I did make a video on how to replace the battery and I talked about why I had to replace the battery. So I'll just put that information in the card right there. You can click on it and watch that video. And of course, I will put the link to that video down in the description below so you can go there and click and watch it also. But to catch you guys up, I'm going to talk about that here real soon. But before we do, please smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and of course turn on the notifications so you can keep up with all the amazing videos that we're putting out here at G5 Productions. Let's get into replacing the PCB. Alright everybody, let me catch you up on why am I replacing the PCB in this light. Now, in the first video, and link is down below, just a reminder, I was troubleshooting on how to replace the battery in this light. And the reason why I had to replace the battery in the first place is because the battery was still in the on position with the switch on the bottom here and upside down inside the bag that I normally transport them in. And because the switch was in the on position, when I went to charge these lights, this one was turned on. So being on, it automatically generates heat by being in operation, whether it's plugged in or not. But because it was plugged in and being charged and on, well, that was generating a lot more heat, which led to the destruction of the battery that was inside of it. Now, in the other video on how to replace the battery on the Freedom Port HEX4, I discovered that I not only had a battery issue with this light, but I also had a second problem, which was with the PCB. So let me show you why I know that the PCB needs to be replaced in this light. Hit the like button. Man, I should make like a quick video with plugging this light and kind of like
plug it in the wall, plug it in the light. All right. Plug it in the wall, plug it in the light. All right.
That was weird, but it was fun. But anyways, let's get back into the video. I like having as much fun as possible with these, man, to keep you guys interested. But let me let you guys get a quick look at what's going on now that this light is plugged in. On the numerical display, what's happening is the lights are flashing at the tops, all four, and simultaneously. And what's also happening with the charging lights indicators, they are also flashing very faintly, but all four simultaneously. Now, generally with a known good light, if this fixture is plugged into the wall, what will happen is if it's in between 25 and 50, the 50% charged LED will be blinking, and then once it gets charged up to that point, the 75% LED charge light will blink, and then once it gets up to that point, it'll remain solid, and then the 100% charged LED light will be blinking. So what's happening here is the top of the numerical display is blinking all four, with the tops of the number 8, just flashing all together, and so are faintly the charge indicator lights, all four flashing faintly as well. So that's an indicator that you need to change the PCB. So here's the part from Chauvet DJ Part Store. I'll put a link to this in the description down below as well. Let's go ahead and open this up so you guys can see what it looks like. So there's the part right there, and I'm going to read the description right off of this paper. So this is actually a power supply. It's a 17.3 volt, 2 amp, 35 watt, yada, yada, yada. I did pay about $94 plus shipping and handling for this part. All right, my friends, getting down to the nitty gritty, I'm going to change that part with this Phillips head screwdriver. And of course, doing that, I'm going to unplug the light. To get this out, there are 4 screws I need to remove in the corner on the bottom of it respectively. So let's go ahead and take those out. The next 2 screws we're going to take off is right there. So all you have to do now is just simply grab the bottom of this assembly and just kind of pull things out. And when it gets to a comfortable place and release, just simply fold this down, let it rest right on top of the table. The other things we're going to have to remove are 3 wire harnesses, one here, here, and of course here. So let's go ahead and squeeze the clip for this one, and I'm just going to simply pull straight up on it like that. And to give you guys a side view of what that looks like, there it is. Squeeze that and pull straight up, and about 3 connections right there. So let's get this one out of the way. Now the same thing happens over on this end of the clip. I'm just going to squeeze and pull that right on up, just like that, and get it out of the way as well. Now for the third harness over here, I'm simply just going to pull straight up off of that one. So there's no clips to squeeze. I'm just pulling straight up. And what you have to do regardless is just be careful, because I'm not sure if you can even see that, but there are 3 needle-like pins coming straight up out of this board. What you're going to have to do is remove these 2 screws right here just below the power switch. So it turns out that underneath the kickstand there are 2 more screws you're going to have to remove. Got this multi-tool right here, and I'm just going to simply turn these 3 off. Now the 4th peg is still down inside the assembly here, just kind of dangling loose with one of the bottom screws in from the kickstand area. So the other 3 screws are here on the desktop. But let's see what's going on with that. There are built-in threads into the aluminum assembly here, and they're on all 4 screw points. So basically the pegs screw in it. So I think what's happened is by me loosening the bottom screw here and turning the screw more than likely unscrewed that peg from the bottom of this assembly. So no big deal. So this is the old one. We're going to totally put that to the side and now get the new one prepared. So it's always important to make sure I orientate everything accordingly. And as far as those pegged screw thingies, they look like they are also built into the housing of both of them accordingly. So one's under here, one's under here, one's here, and one's here accordingly. So everything looks generally okay. And also I want to make a note that it turns out I didn't have to remove the screws from the board. Basically, the pegs are designed to screw in probably halfway into the assembly of the aluminum, and the other half is dedicated to holding down the board inside of here. So that's a learning lesson live right here. So let's go ahead and continue our build. So basically, I'm going to take the old part and put that totally away, and then I'm going to take the 4 screws from the old part, which are all here, and just remove them as well, because I no longer need those 4 screws that holds the board to there, because those are already in the new assembly. So all I have to do is concentrate on number 1, which end goes to my 2 harnesses here, which are here and there, and put these 2 pegs right in there, just like that. And I'm going to tighten that down just really, snug. I'm not going to go overboard with this, because you're talking about brass and aluminum parts here, and those can easily be stripped out. So it's going to get a little bit snug, not worrying about these coming undone from the base or something in the room. And then of course there's the one in the bottom here. So I think it's probably better if I just go ahead and take that one out and screw it in here, so I don't have to do the upside down fight with it. So let me do that. Alright, so there it is. We got all 4 of the brass pegs right there, and generally things should line up at the bottom of the kickstand area here. So before I put this on, I did notice that one of the pegs went through the zip tie, so I'm going to make sure I put that back right there, and that's how things just kind of stay relative and in place right there. And the same thing happens over here, I believe, just to help that stay in place. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. So I'm just maneuvering everything right in place to get them to line up with all of the kickstand holes at the bottom. So that's generally how things are going to fit there. So now we flip this upside down, get our screws in. Okay, so a couple of things I want to bring to your attention here is because the position of this piece is changed, it's rotated. What you're going to have to do is go down in here on the overall harness for that one and pull a little bit of slack, because remember, it was right on the end here, but now it's rotated. So that only affects the overall harness a little bit. And also another thing is on the old PCB, this plastic piece here was supposed to actually remain on there. So I actually pulled this whole part up. So no panic though. All I have to do is take my fingernail here and cut through this red sealant, whatever that is. I guess it's to help hold the harness together. But I'm cutting through it and I am literally pulling this apart here, being very careful. So there it is. So now all I have to do is orientate this in the right way, and it's only going to fit down in there one way. So if it doesn't go the other way, you just make sure it's orientated correctly to fit over the pins, and you in theory shouldn't have any problems. So I am just looking for the right way that this thing fits, and looks like it goes in with no problems that way. So I'm just double checking the connection here, and I got the one with the 2 pins over here, and you guys saw that that one has the squeeze clip on it, so I don't have to squeeze it to put it back on. And over here on this side, there's the zip tie here, so I'm just going to back that off a little bit, just simply so I can get more slack in the cable to reach over to the opposite side of the board where the new connector is. There's a couple of semiconductors that I need to bend out of the way so that the clip fits onto this other assembly here. So, and then of course, I always double check to make sure things are connected, you know, so the clip is holding that one in place. So it looks like in theory everything is all good, hooked up. Just double checking connections, and for GP I'm gonna check these screws, you know, do my own little QA/QC here. I'm just double checking everything. So now all we have to do to verify everything is just simply get this all assembled. So let's do it like this. The same way it came out, you can simply push this back down in there, and double checking that you don't get any wires tangled up or anything like that. So that's generally it. I'm going to start with these 2 screws right there. Now my recommendation is, as you are putting this back together, don't snug these all the way, because you might want to leave yourself some wiggle room to put all of the screws back in the corners. Alright, so now that we have everything all assembled, let's go ahead and plug the power into the light. There's no more flashing red lights at the top of the numerical display, and of course the charge indicators are between 50% and 75%. When this reaches 75%, this light will become solid green, and then 100% will flash until it is 100% charged. So I'm confident that the problem is solved. I will, however, let it get to full charge. Maybe let this light run overnight and see what happens before I actually put it out in the field. So there it is, everybody. We just replaced the PCB or the power supply in the Chauvet Freedom Par HEX4 light right here. And if you're looking for how to change the battery, the link to that video is in the description below. So make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notifications so you keep up with all these amazing videos. I'm Gerald with G5 Productions, DJ Sound and Lighting, and if you want to learn more about us, hit me up at www.g5productions.com. Let's party.